Hi, welcome to One Word a Day. I'm Sophie, your pilot into the universe of Chinese. We are going to continue our journey in discovering just a little bit more about this amazing language every day. Last time we talked about 在所难免. It's at where or which point of life or situation you're in that it's difficult to avoid. Something trouble going to happen. So it's like you're in trouble and it's unavoidable. Okay, we are going to continue with the character 难. Ooh, there's some flying objects around. Okay, 勉为其难. You notice I pronounce qi as qi, light tone instead of qi. I can say 勉为其难, but that's more bookish, like go by the book. But in real language, in action, oftentimes we don't emphasize something that regard, just like English, we don't pronounce everything the same, emphasize, right? Some words are kind of a connector words. We know as language users, been using this language for a long time, we know some words are small words, so to speak, so they don't need to be emphasized. 勉为其难. Okay, 免. Last time we talked about 在所难免, and you look, the right side is the same. It's this bird, this rabbit image without the tail, right? So it's explanation is rabbit as a runner, is escapist, and when you cannot see its tail, it's gone. It's like it's leaving, it's escaping you. It's departing quickly. And then the right side is our symbol. It's a farming tool commonly used in back then. Probably it looks like a rake, right? With the sharp edges pointing down. And I would imagine this whole structure is it's a metal piece that's going to be connected to something so that you can raking through the soil to make it loosen up, ready to plant. So this is a common thing farming tool. And from this device, the concept of force or muscle power was evolved because this is a good representation of where you're using your power or your muscle, your man labor to toiling the soil is the most common thing and essential to survival back then, right? Agriculture society, everybody live on the farm, have to feed themselves, the family, through toiling on the soil. So this farming too then become the symbol of this toiling process, this power through, physical power through process. So now we have an escape and then we have a power. So combined together simply means your power or your muscle power or your willpower are escaping you. You're losing it. It's escaping you, but somehow you're holding on to it. You're forcing yourself to continue, even if you're losing it. So that's the sense of you're obliged. Nobody else is obliging you but yourself. Like you are keep applying yourself to this whatever task you're doing. You're just pushing through no matter what. And in this case, it's like your power, the muscle power, or in today's context, it's more like your brain power, like your brain dead almost. Like at the end of the day, you're already used up. You cannot do anymore, but you're forcing yourself to do just a little bit more. So that's the kind of a 免. Wait, okay. We have this hand symbol, 3-finger hand, kind of looking like that. On the top, this is a hand symbol. So the bottom, okay, here is what I don't agree with the scholars. The bottom, the scholars say this looks like an elephant. Okay, it got 5 legs. Okay, given one is tail and it got 2 fat ears. Maybe this looks like an elephant, but elephant and a hand, it's not a commonly seen farming activity back then. Like we use more farm animals on, say, bulls, or I don't know if cows do house farming work as well, horses, even donkeys, even not so much of elephant. Like elephant is not commonly seen. Maybe back then when the climate was warmer, that elephant was even living in the majority part of China back then. Could be, but I don't exactly buy into that theory of a hand as controlling the elephant to do this farming, toiling thing. So instead, I view these lines over here as the result of after you plow through the soil, there are going to have these ridges of, I spent a little bit of time in a farm, so this ridges formed. So you're setting the ground ready to plant, right? So that's the result, and they're definitely, the hand is using some tool or farm animal. So kind of, I guess, represented over here of this tool, and kind of that's the thing they're dragging through the surface of the soil to form these ridges that's good for planting eventually. But this came from, agriculture commonly seeing activity that's using hand and probably some tools, and to result in this soil ready to plant. And that's kind of regarded as accomplishment. So that's the main goal. You're setting the ground ready to eventually harvest, right? So that's the concept of accomplish something, accomplishment. And then that further get abstracted into four. Like you've done something, and that goal setting or goal achieved becomes this abstraction of, this goal orientation character becomes four. So obliged, four, and qi came from this, and eventually we get rid of the bamboo sign. So okay, this cute little thing hanging there, that's our bamboo symbol. So China on the land of ancient Chinese, probably in contemporary as well, China, bamboos are commonly seen, plant, and they are quick to grow, and they come in abundance, and they're relatively easy to, you don't really need to take care of it much, and it's a good material. So a lot of stuff in China made from bamboo material. So bamboo eventually as a material symbol commonly seen in many, many characters, that whatever thing that's using bamboo material. So here is the shape of this device. That's kind of, you will see eventually, that's used as separating the grains from the shells of the grains, or the waste. So it's a kind of a sorting device using, I guess, the natural wind, and then you're kind of shaking the rice up in the air, and then while the rice are falling, rice are heavier, and the lighter things are going to be blown out of this surface, and then you end up with all rice and no shells or other noises. That's the device, and it's made of bamboo, and we have this kind of a stand thing at the bottom. So I would assume people back then doing a lot of this activity have to stand there, right? That's easier for just, for ergonomic purpose. If you do this all day long, you better be comfortable. And so that's the stand that you can leave this thing on it when not using, scoop more rice and do the next batch. So this is a stand. So the whole image depict this material and how the device looks like and where it's placed at, and the whole thing basically means this thing made of bamboo. So it's called a qi, ji, bo, ji. So we Chinese like to use two characters together to make sure you get the exact thing. So 簸箕 is what that thing is called nowadays. And now we get rid of the bamboo symbol and it becomes abstract. This just means a pointer of an object, something. And this corresponding to English, this, like it's pointing you at something. So it's a thing. It was this, I guess it's not exactly farming, but food processing, ancient food processing tool, right? And it was commonly used back then. And this tool was so useful. And this tool eventually got a status of being abstracted into a representation of any things, useful things in human life. So that becomes the referral of like something without specifying what that thing is. Okay, so it's simply this. And then nan, again, is difficulty in terms of how easy to catch. So bird probably is a difficult to catch. So that bird, and the left side was the sound maker. So it's a type of bird, probably fly fast. It's hard to catch. So that becomes the difficulty symbol. Difficult to catch bird, and commonly used rice processing tool. And then this is like a farming, get the soil ready, and it becomes accomplishment or goal orientation. So it becomes 4. And then oblige is your strength leaving you, but you're trying to hold together, continue do something. So together, 勉为其难 means like reluctantly, like you are not best equipped or have the energy to do something, but you keep pushing. And this is difficult for you, but you still do it anyways. Probably doesn't get the best result, but you do it anyways. So that becomes our 勉为其难, kind of like reluctantly. So this is the tool I was talking about, made of bamboo, right? You see, it's a kind of a 3D structure, has some depth, but not that deep. And then the whole thing is really light. And this is the end, the way that it's facing away from you. So this person, people who use it will stand around here with 2 hands holding on the side like this and have the rice or grains in the middle and start to shake like that. And then the wind will blow the unwanted away, and you're left with eventually here are all rice. And then you're going to pack, measure and get paid for this is your harvest, your crop eventually. So this is our ancient food processing tool, and that came from this symbol. That's made into this symbol. That means this. And when we say 器, we know it came from this device, but now it's anything that's device or object. Okay, cash into the currency of thinking with Sophie. See you another day.